Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, how y'all doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. So we begin today with Kingdom, Manga chapter 486 to 490 reaction. And yes, this is actually being recorded at the same time as the last video. So I am sick. Let's just do that for free. I am sick. But you still know, I still, yeah. I still won't let stop. I still won't let that stop me. Damn, I couldn't even get the words out. But yeah, we're here today with chapter 486 to 490 of Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen. So let's hop right into this week's reaction. Let me just make sure we're actually recording, because now I only have one screen because my second screen gave out, so I don't actually see. So basically, I have to minimize OBS basically, and you have to make sure that you're recording, because you won't be able to look basically once you minimize it. So recording, yes. 1 minute now, yes. Okay, let's go. Yes. To the 486, a bureaucrat's battle. It's been about an hour since I read the last video. It's just sitting, that's the issue. Otherwise, I'd probably like catch up to Kingdom today. If this chair was like better, more comfortable, and wasn't like half broken to the point where I could like rock it back and forwards, I would probably be reading 100 chapters today or something. Yeah, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, maybe like 50 or so, but yeah, you get the point, right? You get the point, right? You get the point, right, mate? Anyway, chapter 486, the bureaucrat's battle. Advising kings, parleying with neighbors, before you know it, you have arrived at the pinnacle of your path. Mr. Nana forced to rely solely on Zhao Kanju. Both Wei and Chu are also diverting large armies towards us. Han and the rest have also been undertaking suspicious activities. If we do not carefully keep a watch on all 6 states' movements, Kanju, as the court debates the plans for a unified China, then we may once again witness the rise of a 6-state coalition. That's very well a reality. Or not. That will not happen. Or not. Chancellor! The Coalition Alliance 4 years ago was founded and supported in the name of Shunshin-kun, a man who had served as Mighty Chu's prime minister for 20 years, as well as the name of Riboku, who had recently added heroes such as Oki and Gekishin to the knot. Who remembers Gekishin? Like, Gekishin was in there for like, is he the person I'm remembering? Like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm all good. I used to like study the grade thing, whatever. Basically take it out like immediately. Gekishin, that's the one, right? I'm thinking of. Is that the yeah? That's most certainly the one I was thinking of. yeah. Fraud. Hoken basically just arrived. Just like, yeah, cut him down. I was like, yeah, good luck. But that's just, that panel, the panel of Gekishin that I was looking at basically just brought me to the subreddit. Let me close the subreddit because obviously I don't want to get spoiled. That guy was in there for like 5 chapters at most and got taken out. And like, it's funny that he's the one that's been talked about. I don't think there's actually that many spoilers because I'm like, alright, I'm still like 150 chapters behind, so there's gonna be still a lot. I thought it was like close. I thought there was like 100 chapters left or something. Anyway, the former has already departed this world, while Riboku, disgraced after the failure of the last coalition, is in no position to start up another such alliance. In essence, there does not currently exist in these lands a figure with enough clout and prestige to lead a coalition, and even then, that would be assuming that I would even allow such an alliance to form again on my watch. Hey, he's like, I'm not allowing shit now. We have released numerous agents into this outside world to disrupt any relations between the other 6 states. I'm sure the Chancellor is correct in his judgment. Indeed, in which case, maybe we should resume our attacks as perhaps does not exist, or somewhat of an exaggeration. The Shi-King. That we saw last chapter, obviously. To the east, there still lies one figure whose true strength we know little of. It may be time we increased our surveillance on the east. Shoei-kun. Who will we be clashing blades with next? Naturally, as per our original plan, the state of Xiao. Alright. To make full use of our new foothold at Kokyo, our next move will be BANG! Sire! Urgent news! A top priority message from Saitakusa. They'll tell me you joined up with Riboku. And I believe the seal on this message is from Seitako-sama, from Yan, a seal, a crimson and blue seal. That seal is meant to be used only when the content concerns the fate of our very nation. What could it possibly be? Of course we cut away. I should be used to this by now. Meanwhile, Ed Kokyo. It took us 5 days to finish handing the reins over to those guys, but at least it means I can leave without worry. Alright then, you take good care of that hill now, Merton, except 4 of those days were spent drinking booze. Hey, it's still included, alright? That's still part of work, the way I calculate work. Yeah, sure. You head him back and get some proper rest. He's finally leaving. Thank the heavens we're free of him. I wonder if I've missed anything. Maybe we should spend one more day to... Just go already. No more partying. Leave. Let us be on our way, Shinono. Feels like I haven't drunk enough though. I'm pretty sure you have. You even threw... Hey, he's become a drinker. A heavy drinker, bro. For God's sake, if you want to stay, do it yourself. Huh? Can I? Please don't. Just go. Urgent reports. I bring urgent news back from headquarters back at Kanju. It's a truce. A temporary truce has been agreed to by Kanju. A truce with Philip, I guess, with Zhao. With Zhao and Shi. Who else but Zhao? Yeah. I don't know the reasons either, but at any rate, we're now in a truce with the Zhao forces. Anyone who breaks this agreement shall face dire consequences. Anyway, I've told you guys now. Make sure you clearly pass it on to all your men, you understand? This is something that even the Zhao have agreed to. Okay, I'm done with you lot. I have to hurry to the Southern Hill. A truce right after we took Kokyo from Zhao. And they even agreed to this themselves. What the heck is going? That's what I would like to know. 10, don't ask me. But the fact that we're suddenly in a truce with no explanation is... Kanji must be her. They must be in quite a panic right now. Even Sensei. Something completely outside their expectations must have suddenly occurred. The king. The king. Yeah, the king. I have a bad feeling about this. Several days later, under heavy security, there arrived in Kanju a procession of unknown affiliation. I'm assuming it's the king or Riboku. Mostly the king of Shi. Creek. Is this really happening? No way. It's the real thing. Is that man from the records of the Grand Historian in the 10th year of reign, 237 BC. Ji and Zhao paid a visit to Shin. Riboku! It's the real Riboku. Forget Riboku. The other man is... What is going on here? Riboku is always playing things. He's always playing things. He's always fiddling his strings. But this was organized by the Shi King. Just what is the meaning of this, Saitako-sama? Explain yourself. Not only did you bring the Prime Minister of our greatest enemy to the very court, there is even the actual king of the state of Shi as well. Have you gone mad? Without discussing this with us. You have my serious apologies for acting without approval, but to follow the proper procedure would have invited more danger, making it a somewhat difficult proposition at the time. Well, certainly, but nonetheless, for what reason would those two men willingly set foot into an enemy's home? I'm afraid you have us completely at a loss, Saitako-sama. To begin with, why did you bring those two men? Not two. One. Oh. Did Riboku switch over to Shi? Is that what's happening here? Did he switch over to... No, I think that's what he means with that line. Not 2, 1. What? The Shi King. Exactly so. For the king of Shi to come to Kanju. What do you mean? Not 2, 1. So he's saying the Shi King is not going in there. The Shi King. Exactly so. For the king of Shi to come to Kanju, he must pass through Zhao lands. To that end, I contacted... I see. I see. He did have a previous pass with the Shi King. Obviously, that's what they mentioned earlier. Well, during the coalition war, to basically make Shi stay out of it. So, I see what's going on. To that end, I contacted, and that's why the standstill with Zhao. That was the you let him pass to us to Chin, and then we won't attack you. To that end, I contacted Zhao. Their terms for safe passage was payment in gold. So then what about a treaty? As well as allowing Rimoku to accompany the She King so that he may meet with our monarch. I agreed, and here he is. They can't believe it. They can't believe it. How could you have agreed to that by yourself, to do such a thing without the king's approval? That's a capital offense, Saitaku-sama. He's the highest diplomat in this country. Certainly, you are correct. If this means that afterwards you must take a club to this frail head of mine, then so be it. However, the Western and Eastern empires that shook these lands in years long past have culminated in the King of Eastern Shi and the King of Western Shin we have today. If my head is what it costs to arrange a face-to-face meeting between these two figures, then I consider it a trivial price to pay. Sire, will you be willing to accept this request as my final undertaking? As a king who wishes to see all of his states brought to ruin and crumble to dust, I respectfully ask that you exchange some words with the King of Shi, he who challenges you from atop the jade throne of the East. Alright. Me likey. Me likey very muchy. Me likey very muchy. A bureaucrats battle. This is a different kind of battle. It's always the bureaucrats battles, the political battle, the strive, it always brings with you some nice little surprises and secrets. Remember, my lord, I have urgent news. My lord, that was the best moment. That was honestly the best moment of Kingdom. That one chapter was the best moment of Kingdom. That one guy just coming in and be like, my lord, my lord, my lord. That is like the top 3 manga moments of all time, honestly. Honestly. Top 3 manga moments of all time. Chapter 487, Conference of the East and West Kings. As we do not know what the She King is here to discuss, we should limit the audience to only a few members of importance. Hence, we cannot use the audience hall. We will conduct the talk at the secluded Hoki mansion. This way, sire. What of Riboku? He is awaiting his turn. His audience will be back at the audience hall. And while we're not sure what his intentions are either, the She King is of far greater priority. For an neighboring king to show up in Kanji like this is unheard of in recent years. Normally the entire state would be rolling out the red carpet. Is that Hoki mansion? Yes, sir. And the She King, he's still at the blue palace below. Did you prepare a throne? We did not, sire. For 2 kings, we erred on the side of politeness with equal seats. But the room still isn't ready yet. Curses! Suddenly showing up out of the thin air and saying, I don't intend to stay for long, so prepare a suitable room. And there he is, at Aegis right there. The Eastern monarch arrives at the Western capital for an audience. With the snake in his tongue. I'm assuming that's like a snake head in his tongue. No. He doesn't actually like carve his tongue so that it looks like that's stupid. Greetings, O King of Shin, the King of Shi. It's only 1 letter difference between you two. King of Shin, King of Shi. My apologies for rushing you like this, Chancellor. Not at all. And all the foods, looks lovely. They're just having a feast up there, so anyone could get pushed off now. Okay, good. Oh, looks good. What dish is this? Salt roasted ox tongue, Your Majesty. I've never had tongue before. I know ox tongue's like fairly common. I've heard it's like very chewy. Like it's very tough. Because obviously, the tongue has so many muscles, so many fibers in it that it's like very tough meat to cook. I would actually like to try it. I'm one of those people I would like to try everything, honestly. I think there is like no reason to be like, oh no, I eat beef, but I don't eat. I don't know. Give me some different kind of meat. I'm not one of those, but I'm like, oh no, I eat beef, but I'm not gonna eat kangaroo or crocodile. Never ever would I do that. Like, really now, really now. I'm a meatitarian, basically. I eat every kind of meat. I told you, Saitaku, to prepare for me a sampling of Shin's delicacy. Shall we sit here and discuss things over a meal, Your Majesty? Have you any qualms with that? What? A moment, please, Your Majesty. This is a talk between 2 kings of mighty nations. How could it be held on a landing between stairs? The room at Hoki Mansion is being prepared as we speak. It shall be ready shortly, so please, if I just wanted to sit down and talk in some closed-off room, then I wouldn't have come all the way here to Shin. Understand, Chancellor, that I came so that I could get a feel of the man who rules over the state named Shin. There you go. Very well. We shall connect it here. Sire! Then let us begin. Unfortunately, there are only enough seats for Saitaku and the pair of us. I'm afraid I'll have to ask the Chancellor to leave us. Even us? Just the three of you? Oh, no. My job is to simply act as an intermediary. I shall watch over the festivities from here. The Chancellor can have my seat. Except that there appears to be two of them. You have my apologies, but could you leave us? Shohei-kun. Ouch. Ouch. Yes, sir. Let us go, Kyle-kun. Sir. Consider yourself dismissed as well, waitstaff. While I do intend to enjoy this meal, first we must discuss matters of import. And it is off. No. Leave the wine here. Of course. Of course. No good discussion has ever not been done over wine. That's all I'm going to say. Leave the wine here. Sire, why did Saitako-sama pick me? Now then, allow me. It's starting. A meeting between the two kings of East and West to properly introduce myself. Oken, 8th king of the state of Shi. He is massive. Obviously, just in the mind, but he's massive. Oken, I wonder if that's like if he has any relation to like to the O family, because we've had that before. Oken, Oki, Ohon, Ohon, well, I want to say Omobu. It's not. Oki, Ohon, Osen. Damn it, I couldn't think of Osen. He's been that irrelevant. What? Yeah, what a huge presence! This is the ruler of the great eastern state of Shi. 31st king of Shinase. Just... the waves just hit him. This time, it's His Majesty giving up a scalding breeze. Oh. Despite your pretty face, you're quite a ferocious one. Exactly as Saitaku described. Well then, Your Majesty, a moment please, Your Majesty. First, concerning the coalition army 4 years ago, when she agreed to secede from the alliance, allow me to once again give you my formal thanks as the King of Shin. Were it not for your actions on that day, I honestly cannot even imagine as the state that Shin would be in today. Sire. True. When I agreed to your terms years ago, I did not do so out of desire to help Shin. The true reason I decided to withdraw from the coalition on that day was because I believed that a world where Shin had been destroyed, its lands and people being fought over like scraps between starving dogs like by the 6 states, would be a world of such depravity and degeneration that I could not even bear looking at it. However, how ironic it is that you, the very man whose fate was spared by that decision, now desires to eradicate the 6 other states and snatch up everything for yourself, painting a future of even greater depravity than the one you so narrowly avoided. Your Majesty, if you claim that to unify China is an act of depravity, then I must firmly deny that accusation. Yes, that is exactly it. That is what I came to see you do, O King of Shin. Okay. When I first heard from Saitaku, your goal of unification, do you know what my first thought was? That I perhaps I should join forces with Zhao, rally together a second coalition army, and this time wipe Shin off the map for good. It was what his king said next that gave me pause. That there would come a world where man need not kill each other. Is that correct? Yes, of course. A naive fantasy that is impossible in reality. You're wrong, Your Majesty. When I heard of this utopia of yours, just like Saitaku, honestly even I felt a stirring within my chest. But you see, in between the two visions of conquest of the 6 states and a world where no one needs to be killed, there lies an essential reality that you have overlooked. We're basically going back and forth. We're basically going back to like the talk that we had previously with Ryufui. To destroy a state, a nation, a country, is to force the people of the vanquished enemy into becoming citizens of Shin. Have you given any thoughts to their plight? For a citizen, the nation is the soil on which they spread their roots. Take that away, and just like a plant, their minds and bodies shall surely wither away. That is to say, every single person alive in the 6 states right now, you intend to see them turn to dust. But they simply need not spread new roots in Shin instead. And how will they do that? All of those who refuse to become Shin will be forced them through violence, the same that you used to crush their homelands. Well, not much of a choice is there, but to carry that out on the whole of China. That would be a world even more twisted than the 500 years of constant war we've endured up until now. Truly the epitome of depravity. After you have left the ruins of the Six in your wake, how do you intend to save the people of the vanquished states? You insisted that your utopia was not simply an empty fantasy. Then surely you must have an answer that would satisfy even I, the King of Shi, one of the enemies that must inevitably be removed from your path, O King of Shin. Now just hold on. At our current stage, how could we possibly have thought of an answer to such a huge question? Let Ace speak. Let Ace speak. He had a very similar discussion with Ryufui. Right, it was a little bit different, but still. That is what I journeyed all the way here, all the way to Kanji for, to hear this answer from your mouth. And if you were to have been spouting vulgarities about conquest when you did not even have a solution prepared, then I shall be forced to raise a second coalition army and put Shin to the torch first. What? Your Majesty, that is, well, there is no need to be so worked up, Your Majesty. If it's an answer you seek, then I have it. Of course. Ace doesn't Saitaku was that confident, I think, but Ace doesn't just seek he doesn't just seek the end goal. He has a plan too. He's got it all figured out. He's got the whole roadmap in his head. So yeah. Chapter 488. Shin King's vision. Whoa! With his snake, bro. So you're telling me that you already have an answer to the question of how you intend to save the citizens of your vanquished enemies. How intriguing. In that case, will you share your wisdom with us right here and now, King of Shin, Ace? With every word and every breath, the future of China grows clearer and clearer. What's the matter, O King of Shin? Your Majesty is correct. For the people, their estate is the soil in which they lay their roots. And to take that away from them would only leave the citizens with an unbearable sense of humiliation, loss, and an abject terror. As one who intends to carry out the unification of these lands, I am fully aware that it is my responsibility to alleviate the conquered citizens from their suffering. And to go about accomplishing that, then it will be necessary to convince them that this was not a war waged for the sake of conquest. Oh, what a strange thing to say. Is bringing the 6 states to heel not a war of conquest? No, it is not. This war for unification is a war for the sake of ushering in a brand new era and nation. It's not the Shin, it's China. Unification of China. To conquer is to subjugate. I always love when they do that. To conquer is to subjugate. Even if we were to destroy all 6 states, do you think Western Shin would be able to maintain control over these lands by itself? If we attempt to do so, in only a few years we could expect the world to plunge into an age of strife yet again. Were Shin to attempt to install itself as overlord after defeating the 6 states, then unification will without any doubt end in failure. The people of Shin must not allow themselves to become rulers over the rest. Democracy. Well, yeah. I guess he's gonna install these kings, so to speak. Doing so will first clear away any feelings of fear the conquered people may have towards Shin. And once we have announced the design of our new nation, with no borders or battles to hinder them, we shall witness a world where man and goods can move freely amongst. I told you, that is an impossible fantasy. To unite the 7 fragmented states of these lands into a single entity without imposing your will upon them is impossible. Within these lands lie a multitude of cultures, customs, and religions, with so many complications dividing the people. How could you ever hope to unite them under a single banner? If anything, the only feasible way of making this possible would be through a powerful ruler above them, the likes of which has never been seen before. Your Majesty is completely correct. To truly unify these lands would require one thing to single-handedly govern the whole system effectively. But it can never be allowed to be man. Not man. If not man, then what? Law. Law. know it's a dictionary, but still. Law. Law. Alright. He's going a lawful route. Not the money route, that Ryufu was doing, but the lawful route. We will grant the law the highest level of power. And through law, we will govern the people and the land. Under this new law, whether you used to be a citizen of Shi or a citizen of Shin, none of it will matter. A world where royalty, nobility, and common peasantry mean nothing. A world where everyone shall answer equally. King of Shi. The superpower that shall emerge following the unification shall be the one that finally achieves peace and equality after 5 whole centuries of conflict. A nation that shall be governed by law. He's got tears in his eyes. Not the king, obviously. Why am I crying, Soph? He's grabbing his chest. I thought last time we grabbed his chest, I thought he had a heart attack on his. It was not the case. He's just like, oh, you're shaking my heart to the core. To your fort, Dutfa, whether it be Shin or Shi, the citizens of all 7 states shall stand shoulder to shoulder in this new world, none superior or inferior to the rest. To that, we may truly unify ourselves as one people and work towards the formation of our new nation. That is the answer that I have prepared as my response to the citizens of the 6 states. A world where even royalty and nobility are not above the law, huh? Correct. But such a thing could hardly be considered a kingdom anymore, could it? A trifling matter. Sire, you really defy normal expectations. That being said, a nation governed by law where people from all 4 corners of the world may be treated as equals. Not the cleanest of answers, but certainly not a bad one either. Of course, this will be an undertaking that is far easier said than done. This vision that you strive for does not appear to be one where my people will need to suffer. I see. To think that such a path existed. It would appear that allowing myself to be cajoled? I've never even heard that word before. Let me just type that in. Cajoled. Persuade. Oh. Persuade, wow. It's a synonym for persuade. I've never heard that word in my life before. Cajoled. It would appear that allowing myself to be cajoled, I'm wondering if I'm saying it right, cajoled by Saitaku, and journey to the western reaches here was worth the time after all. Then does that mean the coalition is? Next, I must ask Your Majesty to answer a question. What was the purpose behind your visit to Kanju? I had thought it would involve a Shi-Shin alliance, but that does not appear to be consistent with what you have said. No, you're close to the mark, dear. Although without a formal witness, this can only be considered a verbal promise between ourselves. But yes, it is an alliance between Shi and Shin I seek. An alliance? And how would such an enterprise benefit Shi? For us, Shin, were we to go to war with Wei, Zhao, or Han, having an ally in the form of Ji poised at their back is one of the greatest advantages we could hope for out of an alliance. However, the moment Shin's blade penetrates those 3 states, Shi will certainly be the next to find itself threatened by our steel. And I'm sure that as the king of Shi, you are aware that our alliance will not be enough to stand in the way of our progress. And when that time comes, should the king of Shin's eyes have changed and become clouded by impurity, then Shi shall fight to the last man to protect their home. Huh? Wait, and does that mean if he remains unchanged, then the state of Shi will, Your Majesty? Well, if he remains unchanged, he's just going to give up. He's going to surrender. Around 50 years ago, a great coalition army led by the great Gakuki reduced the mighty state of Shi to a paltry 2 cities, Kyo and Sokuboku. Sokuboku. It was at that time in the besieged city of Kyo that I was born, and since then I have seen a great many things on the way here today. And there has been one thing that I've always believed in, that a thoroughly sickening amount of blood has already been shed on these... He's a pacifist. Despite his looks and everything, he's a pacifist. And that so long as we are unable to find an exit from the quagmire, the flow of blood shall never cease. I had convinced myself that maybe such an exit did not exist at all. But sitting here now, I feel that perhaps I have just seen a small glint of light shining out of this darkness, O King of Shin. If it is you, then perhaps there is finally someone whom the reins to this land can be entrusted. A king of an entire state is saying that to another. He's talking about surrender. There is no mistaking it. Right now, the Shi King, one out of the 7 warring states, is actually talking about surrendering. Ace is just... Oh my. A pacifist through and through. Interesting. That's an interesting develop. That's a very interesting development. Chapter 489. Something absolutely unbelievable has just occurred. Granted, not by any other stretch of the imagination could this meeting be viewed as official, but the eastern state of Xi, which we had expected to pose a troublesome threat, simply from listening to our king's words, as democracy, diplomacy, simply from listening to our king's word, has practically declared that they will be willing to surrender to us. And Saya seems to have accepted it too, which means that without needing to spill even a single drop of blood, we've managed to subdue one of the 6 state. Yeah, Saitaku has done awesome. His convictions, fostered by the roar of the azure sky. Tok. Saitaku's pride. Just keeps grabbing his chest, bro. I now understand why Saitaku went to the lengths he did to bring your majesty all the way here to Kanji. That's true. Something on the scaleless. Naturally, I am grateful to the Shi King for making this trip, but I would also like to thank you, Saitaku. That you achieved all this by yourself is amazing. Don't celebrate too soon, your majesty, for not only is this agreement between us purely verbal, as I said earlier, if your attitude were to change at any point in the future, then you can expect Shi to oppose you with all our might. But until that time comes, Shi shall sit on the sidelines content to simply observe all your battles. The mere fact that she shall not be urging on the 3 states from behind is enough to save 100,000 Shin soldiers' life. Fu. That is true, in which case, your majesty should truly thank Saitaku. It is this old man. It is this old man who should be thanking you, sire. Embarrassingly, I was once the very same, though from a different vantage point from his majesty, the king of Xi. There was a time in my life where this foolish man also sought a path that could direct this world we live in. But as the years passed, I had also given up. I was convinced that such a path could not possibly exist. But then, sire, it was you during your debate with Ryufi in the city of Yu, who let me see the light. Those words you spoke shook me to my very core. I thought you had a heart attack, bro. Honestly. At that moment, from the bottom of my heart, I thank the heavens for letting me live as long as I have. Saitaku-sama. However, whether it be your path, the light, or even a world without warfare, if you're not able to bring them into fruition, then they will be nothing more than the foolish rambling of a child. And he's saying that to a king. He's saying that to a king. Yeah, you can see the look right now. Show like, oh, you dare say that? The unification of these lands. Unless I know what the single biggest obstacle is that stands in your way of making that dream a reality, I do. It is Riboku. It is Riboku. The single biggest obstacle is Riboku, the man who started the coalition war. The danger, none other. Riboku he just keeps grabbing his heart, squeeze. They're all looking shocked. They're like, oh, what's going on? I think he is having heart issues, honestly, because he keeps squeezing it. I think he's having heart issues. If it is Riboku, then allow me to share some insight. Riboku's gaze has constantly been turned westwards towards Shin. In a way, you could say Shi has spent many years looking at Zhao and Riboku's backs. And while Shin may have emerged victorious at Kokyo recently, from our view behind Zhao, our impression is that Riboku does not yet feel pressured. He still has something up his sleeve, and we are unable to perceive what exactly that hidden factor may be. Ryoku of Zhao's 3 great heavens is without a doubt a far greater foe than Shin may have given him credit for. Okay. They've given him a lot of credit, but yeah, I agree with that. Single-handedly, he's been the brains, right? Because the other 3 great heavens token, he doesn't have brains, right? He has bronze, not brains. Even more so than we expected. As the man who slew Oki and Du Qiao, I am completely aware that Riboku is a monster who is not technically Hokin, but it's Riboku, right? He's the brains. I am completely aware that Riboku is a monster who is not to be underestimated, and I'm even more aware that if we cannot defeat him, then bringing down the 6 states will forever remain a dream. But the great generals of Shin, from this point on, shall without a doubt be the ones to slay him. Phew. Then there is nothing more that needs to be said. You should go, King of Shin. That very same Riboku awaits you right now within the main hall. Making them wait too long may cause them to realize the importance of our discussion, and would definitely not be a very good idea. Sire! I am most grateful for your offer, your majesty. Please excuse me. How would I say, please execute me? I was gonna say, like, what? No, but please excuse me. We shall... We shall reconvene at the evening banquet. This way, sire. Still clutching his heart. Your majesty, may fortunes bless you with its presence. Thank you. I'm off then, sire. I think Saitaku is gonna die. He really does possess a certain something, doesn't he, Saitaku? It's just as you said. He is a king that, I think that might be like a goodbye kind of thing. He's a king that appears only once every 1,000 years. Granted, I may have allowed myself to indulge in your persistence, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you facilitated this meeting between us. If it is him, then perhaps he really can make that vision a reality. That sort of world that both of us yearn for. Saitaf. He actually did die. Damn. It would seem your final piece of work is truly one of your greatest yet, Saitaku. Damn. May fortunes bless you. May fortune bless you with its presence. And that's how he dies, with those words. Ha! Damn. That's quite something. I'm actually glad nobody spoiled it for me. Because obviously previously I said that is he getting a heart attack or something? And you know what? He did die. Going by the records of the grand historian Saitaku, or Saisi, was born in Yan and wandered throughout the lands before arriving at Shin. After besting the Shin Chancellor in a battle of wits, he succeeded the position. He would go on to serve 4 generations of Shin King, culminating in Eisei, achieving a level of prestige that was rare even in his homeland of Yan. So cold. How long ago did you run out of time, Saitaku? The final embers of his life. Sleep well, old friend. Many times in the past, you aided me in times of need. Lord Gangshin Saitaku passes away. I shall take responsibility and watch over these events to their conclusion. Lord Gangshin is his Chinese title, while Saisi is his Chinese name. What's the matter, sire? He like an instinct. Nothing. Let us hurry, your majesty. Riboku awaits us. That was most certainly something, ladies and gentlemen. That was most certainly something. Rest in peace, Saitaku. Truly, rest in peace, Saitaku. We're now at chapter 490, the final chapter of today, ladies and gentlemen. Discussion of Destiny. Discussion of Destiny. And now he's back in his seat. You have the Shin King's attention. Prime Minister of Zhao, Riboku, greets your majesty. Now to confront the uninvited guest they have received. Discussion of Destiny. Yeah, everyone's here. Everyone's looking. And those 2 guys that we saw previously, like what's his name? Like Sun Ying Dong, something like that. Probably butchered it. I would like to begin by thanking your majesty for this opportunity. Save the pointless preamble. For what purpose did you choose to personally make a journey all the way here to Kanji, Riboku, cutting right to the chase? So yeah, he didn't even let him finish his greeting. Even if it's the king, Riboku-sama is still a prime minister. This is peculiar. For his majesty to stonewall Riboku, even doing away with pleasantries. Nah, this is about right. Saitaku-sama said so himself. The only reason we allowed Riboku's audience was because it was needed for the Shi King's safe passage. We have nothing to discuss with Riboku. For an enemy prime minister to visit us like this is bizarre, especially considering that the Battle of Kokyo has only just concluded. For Riboku to be here, despite that, probably means he has nothing good to say to us. The sooner we get this over with, the better. I am perfectly aware that my existence here is hardly welcome, but it is you remember last time he was here? I remember that. Like, I want to say that. Like, he just came in, like, I got no plans, bro. But I've got no plans, bro. Like, just came in, I'm like, just like the ball is like he was about to execute and everything. It's like, nah, son, I'm fine. I'm A-okay. He's got that calmness, that swagger about him. But it is because there is a matter that I must bring to your majesty's attention that I have journeyed here while there is still time. Something that he wants to tell the Shin King. While there is still time, please, your majesty, before it is too late, I would ask that you abandon your dreams of unification. What's the matter? The unification, your majesty. In truth, I sincerely respect you from the bottom of my heart. Overcoming the stigma of your birth in Kantan to seize the Shin throne, putting your own life at risk at the Battle of Sai to rally the civilians and create a miracle. And now you hold within you a burning will to rid this world of warfare by shaping the realm into a single nation. Honestly, I would have liked to serve under a king such as yourself. You don't want to say that? That might be classified as treason. What? Riboku-sama? What you just said may cause misunderstandings, Riboku. But even if I were to have been in your service, I believe I still would have attempted to warn you, Your Majesty, of unification. When a nation draws close to its hour of demise, it will surely unleash a level of strength that far exceeds all expectations in an effort to fight back. As to how great that strength would be, well, I am certain Shin would understand best of the coalition. Shin would understand best of all considering your positions during the last coalition. In other words, the only thing that would lie ahead in your future would be atrocious wars where bloods will only be washed away by more blood. What comfort will your dream of a future utopia be to those who must fall on the path towards realizing it? Whether it is the amount of blood that shall be shed, or the number of lives that will be lost, without a doubt it can only be considered to be the greatest of tragedies. Your Majesty, I am also a man who desires to see this era of warfare brought to an end. And I am certain, always of this, like that, I'm certain, like, all of them have that. And I'm certain that there are others within the 5 states that share the same sentiment, in which case, instead of crossing swords with these people, would it not be wiser to extend your hand in peace instead? By working together, surely a path towards peace shall know. No. We have the two intelligent beasts. The two intelligent beasts just talking. There is no other path than through that of unification. Chief of the military, Shohei-kun. But there is, Your Majesty. I bid you to immediately send missives to the other 6 states and organize a gathering of the 6 other kings here at Kanju. You're gonna get all the kings? Oh boy, that would be something. A gathering of kings with the 6 kings. An alliance? Correct. An alliance between all 7 states. Are we gonna get that? Because she wouldn't want that. Actually, she wouldn't. I don't know. As long as you're not wavering. An alliance with all 7. That could never work. Even alliances with 3 states have this difficulty succeeding. To achieve something that difficult with all 7 states is it's absolutely. There is no need to make it needlessly complex. If our wanted only goal is long-lasting peace in this world, then there is only one condition that the 7 states would need to follow. To completely forbiddance of conducting warfare against any of the other states. Were any single state to break this taboo and encroach upon the lands of all the other states would team up and destroy that, then they will be immediately be set upon by the other 6 and wiped off the map. If all 7 kings of the realm were to stamp their seal and agree to these terms, then warfare shall disappear from these lands without even needing a single drop of blood to be spilt. Something like that will never achieve lasting peace. Creak. Certainly, it is true that were we to join hands with you, Riboku, and pool all our knowledge and wisdom, in order to convince these 6 other kings to put their own state's interest behind that of the greater good and form a 7-state alliance, then yes, war and conflict shall disappear from these lands. However, what guarantee is there that this alliance will still be upheld in 100 years' time, when both you and I will have departed from this world? Riboku, As time passes, it is inevitable that a nation enters a period of prosperity, and if that were to ever coincide with kings or vassals of wicked intent, then you can be certain that the alliance will be broken. Do you truly intend to tell me that you believe a lasting peace can be achieved through such a flawed method? Actually kind of reminds you of like mutually assured destruction between like America and and Russia during the Cold War, where like both were like, no, we can't start war because it was, you know, it would destroy us both. And that's basically what you have here, like not an alliance basically through fear of being destroyed, I guess. Not quite, but really that's what it boils down to in the long phase. Just how many, again, you could say that, you know, that's what we have right now, just alliances. We're not really, at least in Europe, we're not really at war with each other. You know, we just have alliances. Yeah. Economic alliance as well. Yeah. You know, it all kind of works. We have economic alliance and moral alliances, that it kind of just works, you know. But that's a bit like Ryufui and Ryuku's combined, honestly. That's what it seemed like. You truly intend to tell me that you believe a lasting peace can be achieved, but we'll see how it is in 100, 200 years or so. It can be achieved through such a flawed method. Just how many times have we experienced failures of that manner throughout our history? We have no choice but to change things from the roots up. Does your majesty think that by masking your plan with gilded words, you can simply brush the matter off? Do you really think the 6 days will just roll over and allow themselves to be trodden upon for the sake of you and your beloved vision? I have never had any delusion of that sort since the very beginning. No one understands more than me that my actions shall bring forth a tragedy that shall encompass the entire land. But still, I choose to see it through. I have no intention of whitewashing my actions. Hear me well, Riboku, and vassals of Zhao. Through military might, Shin shall conquer and destroy all 6 states, including Zhao, and unify the realm under a single banner. Return and pass my words back to your king. Tell him he can deliver Zhao's total capitulation at his earliest convenience. Oh, yo. Okay, that's, you know damn well that's the thumbnail, alright? Just like, yeah, boss, I'm the boss, bitch. I'm the boss, man. I'm the boss. You're gonna surrender. I will unify. We will unify all nations, and you lot, you might as well surrender now. Like straight, that's rude, sire. What the hell did you just say? If you can do it, then let's see you try, Kane. I understand. Unfortunately, I can only interpret that as a declaration of war. You've been at war already, fam. But mark my words, your majesty. It shall be you and Shin who live to regret those words. And that's coming from Riboku. The man we all know is dangerous, and we've been told is even more dangerous than we know. So, hey. When Riboku says that, you take that, you take that, and you accept that. You look at that, and you're like, oh no. We need to be careful. And that's basically what is happening here. We need to be careful. But hey, Shin will pull through. That's all I'm saying. Shin will pull through. But I really enjoyed the Saitaku. That's for you, Saitaku. We also seem to have some sort of truce, alliance, and ultimately, when it continues, total surrender with the She King as well. So we have only, 5 more nations to worry about, I guess. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's good stuff. Very, very much good stuff. I also want to say a massive thank you to all of you for not spoiling me that Saitaku died or was gonna die, because obviously last time I thought he died. I thought he had a heart attack or something, but no, he didn't. But it could have been very easy for a lot of people to be like, yeah, heart attack, yeah, he's gonna have one in the future. So I really do appreciate that. None of you guys have ever spoiled me anything, so I'm just very, very grateful and very, very happy about all of you. Just that you're all being so very kind. But hey, regardless, folks, I will see you all in the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out and bye. Actually, that's probably a better way to end it. Hey everybody, if you liked this video, please be sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, be sure to check out Patreon to get 1 week early access as well as full length. Until next time everybody, peace out and have a nice day.